You have a lot of priorities when you lead a company. So many, in fact, that the chances are you'll never get to them all. Every single one of them seems important and urgent, and the demands and expectations that are placed on your time can be overwhelming. There's one thing, though, that it is unacceptable to neglect. It doesn't carry the same urgency that some of your other tasks do, and no one's going to chase you to get on top of it. It's so important, though, that it could determine your success or failure more than any other area. That thing is your own development. You must make it a priority to learn and grow. Now, I've learned a lot from Tony Robbins, and he stated that the chokehold on any business is the skills and psychology of the leader. And I agree. If you think about it differently, the most powerful factor in either enabling or limiting the success of your business is your commitment to making yourself a better CEO. And in fact, I'd go as far as saying that it's irresponsible not to spend time on your own development. You've got people counting on you. You'd better take the steps to become as good at your job as you can possibly be. It's really difficult, though, to know what to do. There's not really a course you can take or a book you can read that will give you all the tools and strategies you need to become a great CEO. And even if there were, major factors in your performance will be your mindset, your psychology, and the perspective you bring. It's definitely not just about skills. And those things take time, and they're challenging to learn without having navigated tough situations. So sometimes you just have to pay your dues and get the battle scars so you can be ready for the fight ahead. And even then, every company is different. Each one of us as individuals is different too. We have to be authentic in our leadership and play to our own unique strengths. And we'll only become great leaders if we can refine, sharpen, and develop the things we're naturally good at into world-class weapons. Because of all this, there's no roadmap, there's no right way, and there are definitely no easy answers. So I was wrestling with this challenge back at the start of this year. In the process of setting my goals and working on development plans with my team, I realized I needed one for myself. And I was left pretty stumped when it came to putting one together. Eventually, through a lot of trial and error, I landed on a solution that worked for me, and it might work for you too. So here are the steps that I took. First, project yourself forward into the future and imagine that you're at the peak of your powers. You're achieving all of your business dreams, and you're the best CEO you could possibly be. You're still you, just fully realized. What are you spending your time on? In which areas are you performing incredibly well? What natural strengths are you leveraging? Write them down and try not to choose too many. I ended up with 6, and you might come up with a different number, but reduce them as much as you can. Once you've done that, in detail in each area, describe what great looks like. Be specific. What results are you getting? What are you actually doing, and how are you doing it? Third, in each area, write down where you feel you are now in comparison to your definition of greatness. Now, do this without judgment. No one's going to read this but you, so be honest. You're probably a long way away from where you'd like to be. Most of us are, and that's good. It means you've got plenty of room to improve and grow. But a map's only useful to you if you know 2 things: where you're going and where you are. If you're not honest about your location, then you'll never find your destination. Number 4, make a list of people who you consider, or maybe who are generally considered great in each of the focus areas you've identified. Now, these could be people that you know, or public figures, and they don't have to be other CEOs. Learn as much as you can about them. Can you talk to them? Read about them? Maybe you can listen to a podcast you're on. Modeling the practices and behaviors of people who are already great at the things you want to progress in is going to save you a huge amount of time in trial and error. Learn from the mistakes and the successes of those who've gone before you. Then 5, through understanding the areas you should focus on, where you are, where you want to go, and what high performers in those key domains you've identified do, it's likely that there's a development plan already forming. But take this a step further, write it down with specific actions and try to make them as practical as possible. If it's all about reading books and doing courses, then you're acquiring theoretical rather than practical knowledge. Then start taking action on this plan every single week, scheduling time in advance to dedicate to your development. Oh, and there's one final thing. If it's not part of your plan already, add getting leverage to your list of development areas. There's a very good chance that you're still trying to do way too much yourself. I know I am. Your time is valuable, and even if you're not paying yourself very much, in terms of the opportunity cost, you're an incredibly expensive resource. So outsource, delegate, and get as much off your desk as you possibly can. Now, of course, that's not to say that you should take your eye off the ball. Keep checking that things are done well. But please, please, stop doing things that you shouldn't be spending your time doing. Now, if you've just watched this last part and are thinking, this is amateur stuff, I am fully leveraged and there's absolutely nothing I'm doing myself that someone else could be doing, then please get in touch. I have lots of questions.